Long ago, when the world was bright and full of stories, an evil wizard gained the power to touch the face of God. Narrativa, goddess of stories and weaver of our world, banished him to the void, but not before he stole a piece of her divine essence. With this newfound power, the wizard lay a dread curse upon all the world, the Glyph Purge, which struck from the minds of all mortals the knowledge of how to read and write. Now, all that stand between the Isle of Meotia and an age of endless ignorance are the bards, who tell stories of distant lands, exotic creatures, and brave heroes. This is one such tale.
Hello and welcome to Challenge Rating Zero, the latest and greatest Dungeons & Dragons podcast to hit the internet airwaves. I am Sam, your Dungeon Master, and I am joined as always by my longtime friends and adventuring companions.
Hello, I'm Brian, and I play Hektor the Gatekeeper.
Hi, I'm Beth, and at least for one more session, I play Rilla Longshadow.
Ooh, dark omens.
Oh. Hey there, I'm Alex, and I play Ruger Firehead.
And last but not least, we have the man who calls himself Michael, but who we call Parker. Michael Parker playing the druid Zurabak. Say hi, Parker.
Hi, Parker. Beth brings up a fantastic point. We should do the introductions after the show, so if we know we die, we can be assholes about it.
I was Rilla! I was.
Yeah, no, definitely,
Sam.
if Rilla dies, we definitely should spoil that in the opening of that episode. For
Yeah,
sure.
just subtly, overtly.
Just
Well, then it's foreshadowing, right?
Yeah.
I think we can all agree that the devastating potential of the death card is hanging heavy over the party.
Zurabak does not care.
Certainly possible that Rilla could die in this adventure, and you will have to make an entirely new character. But
Yeah. And then I get to play the fun of what would piss Sam off because I'm mad my character died, or building something useful for the party. And that's always a toss-up, right?
Always go with whatever pisses Sam off. It's the most satisfying to play.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. Your play never impacts my emotions at all. So I don't even know what you're talking about. You sound silly right now.
Denial's the first step.
Shut up, Parker! Sorry, that's not me. I guess we left things on another cliffhanger, so let's get straight to the recap. When last we left our heroes, Hektor, Rilla, Zurabak, and the lawman Ruger Firehide set out from the ruined village of Greenleaf through the blighted Springvale Forest on their way to the Martyr's Tree. In their company are 20 elven warriors who are sickly, starved, beaten, and zealously devoted to Elder Willow, the terrible village elder that experimented/tortured Rilla in her childhood and is the only remaining leader in the devastated Springvale Forest, which is succumbing to the blight of the Badlands, encroaching in on it. Also in this group is Rilla's kid sister, Dara, who has taken Rilla's place as the sacrifice required to fix the Springvale Forest, at least so much as these elves believe. Our heroes are on their way to the Martyr's Tree in order for Dara to sacrifice herself and restore the glory of the forest. Rilla is currently in disguise as a human woman, going under the code name Daughter, which is still just...
Everyone hates.
It's still just what it is, and once again, y'all can't impact my emotions, so I have no opinion on that name, and let's move forward. So when last we left, you all were stomping your way through this blighted and rotting forest, seeing all of the horrific chaos abounding as herbivorous animals dine on flesh, as the leaves of the trees turn black and brittle and fall like dead butterflies to the corrupted forest floor below you, and you were ambushed. Tiny arrows flying from the darkness beside you into some of the company of elves that you are traveling with, which resulted in confused and terrified screams. You're being attacked by pixies. The first arrows that come out of the woods hit a couple of these elven guards, and they immediately start screaming in confusion. Who am I? Where am I? What's going on? It is obvious that this is the... Rilla, you would know this, being someone that grew up in this forest. Pixies are tiny humanoids with gossamer insect-like wings. They live deep in the heart of the Springvale Forest, and their arrows are notorious for scrambling the brains of anyone that's hit with them. So you and the company of elves you are traveling with are being assaulted by pixies. Let us go ahead and roll initiative. Okay, Zurabak, what'd you get on your initiative roll?
Both Snake and Zurabak rolled 7s, leaving Zurabak with 7, and Snake with 15.
Okay. Hector, what'd you get on your initiative?
6.
Okay, Rilla?
13.
Okay, Ruger.
10.
The pixies go first. I'm so excited.
Woot woot.
All right, so...
I just picture this tiny little pixie being like, hold! Hold!
Yeah, pretty much.
Nose!
So, to set the scene, you are in the midst of the ancient forest known as Springvale. Massive tree trunks tower all around you. Their canopies blocking out large swaths of sunlight where they are not blighted and the leaves have fallen. The trunks are starting to blacken with this corruption from the Badlands. The shrubbery around you is rust-colored and smells of rot. And through the massive towering bulk of these trees, these small arrows come flying at you. You cannot see the source of them. You can tell which direction they're coming from, but whatever pixies are firing these are invisible. Let's roll some attack rolls for these pixies. And I, because you cannot see these creatures, am aiming for everyone's flat-footed armor class. So, Hector the Gatekeeper, what is your flat-footed AC?
I don't like that.
My flat-footed is 15.
Okay, let's see. Well, I got an 11 to hit you, so thankfully, that's a miss. A tiny arrow comes whizzing past your head, Hector, and you are able to nimbly dodge it. An arrow comes at Mr. Ruger Firehide. I got an 8. What is your flat-footed armor class?
Okay, well, it's definitely not that, but just to make sure, flat-footed is just without your dex bonus? Is that
Yeah,
correct?
it's 10 plus armor
Alright.
plus shield.
Yeah, so I did not have an up-to-date number on mine. But no, my flat-footed armor class is 16.
Fantastic. So an arrow bangs off of your
Off
armor.
the shield, baby!
Off the shield, there we go, yeah. You
Ting.
throw your spiked shield in front of your face and an arrow banks off of it, no problem. And a tiny arrow comes for Zurabak. Got in 11 to hit you, Zurabak.
My flat-footed is the same as my regular armor class,
Which is?
12.
12? Okay. Wow, I actually missed Zurabak. I'm emotionally devastated. But yeah, an arrow goes whizzing by you as well. It glances against your gator skin armor that you got in the first session of this fucking game. and haven't upgraded at all.
Yeah, no, this armor's not looking good. But
No,
you
it's fucking gross. It's been through a desert.
It's like rotting off of his skin.
Swamps, mountains, blizzards, deserts, volcanoes. Just it's been through a lot of shit.
I got some void on it.
And one arrow comes at Rilla Longshadow, and I rolled a fucking 9.
Whew. Yeah, I'm good.
What is your flat-footed armor class, Rilla?
12.
Excellent. So 4 arrows come flying out of the darkness from invisible attackers. You cannot see their source. All of them thankfully miss you. There is a panic amongst the elves with you. There's about 20 of these elves, but 2 of them got hit with arrows as this ambush began, and they are screaming and running around in circles. Where am I? Who are you people? What's happening? What's going on? Their compatriots are trying to tackle them to the ground and tell them everything's going to be okay, but they are completely panicking, flailing at their companions. Elder Willow and Dara have ducked down behind their palanquins, which have been dropped, and they are using them as cover.
Is there a way for us to identify the nature of this affliction? Like if it's a fear effect or a charm spell or something?
Anyone that wants to roll a knowledge nature. These are fey creatures. Anyone that wants to roll a knowledge nature would get some intel.
16.
somewhere in the 20s.
Okay, shit. That's good.
Druid.
So pixies are typically merry pranksters. They delight in pulling off schemes to make people look silly or to scare the bejesus out of them as sort of a defense mechanism. It seems like these pixies are a little more aggressive. They have the ability to completely mask their presence, becoming invisible, as if the greater invisibility spell, which means they can attack and cast spells without letting you see them. And their arrows have magic properties that can either make you fall asleep or lose your memory. So this is not a poison. This is not a substance. This is not a spell. This is an extraordinary ability. So this is not a fear or mind control effect.
Yeah, but it's fey.
Yeah, they are fey
Well,
creatures and have these innate magical powers that they can put onto their arrows.
I was really hoping it was a fear effect because I give off an aura of courage, and I was really hoping to lean into that. But alas.
So yeah, unfortunately, that is not the case. But thankfully for you all, a whole shit ton of arrows swarmed at you, and none of you were struck. Thank goodness. That brings us to Snake's turn. Snake, the massive, just enormous, huge-sized constrictor snake. No, venomous serpent. Sorry, I keep forgetting that.
He's a viper.
He's a viper, an enormous viper the size of a small, just a horse, really. It is Snake's turn. What does Snake do?
That's a good question.
I like to think so. That's why I asked it. Sorry. That was terrible.
Yeah, Matt, cut that part out.
Look, I'm still assistant producer on this show. You don't get to tell Matt shit, okay?
Matt, please and thank you. Editor, Goddaddy.
Just
I don't know.
just give Sam a funny filter the entire show. It'll be great.
Oh my god.
Like he's not inhaling helium.
That would be fun.
Next one, we're just heavy metal the entire time.
Or just slow time all of his laughs.
Make him Zurabak.
Let's get Jabba the Hutt in this bitch.
Snake probably doesn't do shit.
Cool.
Yeah.
Snake
Visible enemies.
hangs
Yeah,
out.
they're invisible. He's big. Nothing shot at him. He's gonna live his snaky life.
Yeah, doing snake things.
Yeah, Snake coils up and just scopes the
Daydreams
scene.
about half pipes.
Your nose is bleeding. Don't.
Ah.
So yeah, Snake coils up and just scopes the scene, chilling, waiting to see if he can bite something. Rilla Longshadow, it is your turn. You are disguised as a human woman. You, your companions, and these elves, this elven honor guard you're traveling with, are being assailed by pixies. What do you got?
All right. Well, first of all, I'm getting behind that palanquin too.
Sure. The one that Elder Willow's hiding behind, or the one that your sister's hiding behind?
I'm right next to Dara. I was talking to her, so obviously that one.
Obviously.
Well, you don't have to be snotty about it. Once again, nothing you guys do affects my emotions.
She gets behind the one with Elder Willow, and then she just starts stabbing him to death. Everyone's busy. They're not paying attention to him anymore.
Murder stab.
That would be interesting. They are, but I'd have to stab him to death with tiny arrows.
And I'm pretty sure that daughter laid out a call shot on Elder Willow, right? Like, didn't she specifically stay aloud to the group, like, he's mine?
Yes.
Yeah, Rilla did do that, yes. All right, so you hunker down behind the same palanquin your sister's at, so you got a little cover, then what?
So okay, is it listen checks that help you pinpoint a square that something might be in?
It is indeed.
Okay, so I want to try and do that. Hang on, I'm seeing. My listen is not great, but we'll give it a try. I just rolled a nat 20, so that's a 22.
Oh my goodness gracious. You
Yay.
hunker down, even over the chaos of all of these elven guardsmen, like, screaming in confusion and trying to, like, hold each other down. You are able to pick up the relatively faint sound of buzzing insects that you know were the gossamer wings of these pixies. You're able to pin down 2 of them. They're about 5 feet away from each other, and they're buzzing, like, not 30 feet away from you, off to the side of the path you're traveling down.
Cool, so I cast glitter dust on them.
That's a good spell. That's a good one. Remind me and the listeners what glitter dust does in broad strokes.
Glitter dust gives you a minus 40 penalty to hide checks and shows invisible things. You also get blinded if you don't succeed on a will save. No matter what, these things are going to be visible until the effect wears off, which is going to be in 9 minutes. So they're going to be dead by then.
Yeah, but what does it do?
It coats you in golden particles.
Fuck yeah. It's a glitter bomb.
It's glitter. It's a glitter bomb.
Excellent. Yeah, you throw out your glitter bomb, a visually jarring explosion of gold glitter erupts in between these pixies, and from the thin air, you see perfectly revealed by your glitter 2 small people with these tiny whirring wings, holding bows with quivers on their back. They seem to be dressed in like tiny vests and pants. They're hovering, about 15 feet off the ground. What do I got to roll for the save?
So you need to roll a will save on those 2 creatures. A DC 15 will negate the blinding.
Okay, one of these pixies is fucking blind.
For the duration of the spell. So it's blind for the next 9 minutes.
Sweet.
Jesus.
I mean, that's not bad.
Fucking awesome. So yeah, Rilla Longshadow, disguised as daughter, her fucking cover identity. You run through the forest, skid on your knees to hide behind this palanquin, and you hurl a glitter bomb, which explodes, revealing 2 of these pixies. One of them is blinded. It starts frantically clawing at its eyes with its tiny little hands. They are perfectly visible. So there are 2 visible enemies 15 feet above the ground, holding bows in their hands. Nicely done. That brings us to Ruger Firehide. Ruger, it's your turn.
You said they're 15 feet in the air?
They are.
How far away from me are they?
Altogether, like 30 feet, I'd say.
Nice.
How convenient.
Yeah, especially for a point-blank shot.
Hey, don't tell the listeners that I'm doing you a solid. Just roll with it, you sons of bitches.
Okay. I'm just saying, point blank shot. I'm taking advantage with my heavy crossbow. So since they're airborne, I am going to. Okay, real quick. Yeah, no. I'm gonna take a shot. I'm gonna take a shot at the nearest pixie with my heavy crossbow, and my attack roll is pretty decent. So that is a 24 in total.
That is absolutely a hit. You line up a shot with your heavy crossbow and fire off a bolt with a loud slam of the heavy metal cord snapping taut. Your bolt flies through the air and catches one of these pixies right in the chest. What do you got for damage?
Nice. Thanks to the +1 because of point blank shot, I did a total of 7 points of damage.
Excellent.
Piercing, obviously.
You shoot that pixie right out of the fucking sky. Your crossbow bolt hits this thing right in center mass, and you blow it out of the air, and you pin it to a large rotting tree behind it. It fidgets.
Is it dead?
Oh yeah, it fidgets once, its wings flapping, and then it expires. Yeah, you staple this thing to the tree behind it.
Damn. I feel bad now. Like, oh.
Yeah, I mean,
that's
right
actually
before it
horrible,
dies, it
what I
looks
just did.
Adorable. Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Nicely done. Anything else?
How far are Rilla and Dara from me right now?
Like 10 feet.
Yeah, I'm gonna sidle over in their direction, shield in hand, and just kind of move generally defensively towards the little girl and her disguised elder sister.
Okie dokie. That's going to make it Zurabak's turn. Zurabak, it is your turn. There is one visible pixie and probably some other ones that you can't see.
I'm going to do a listen check for the other ones I can't see.
Okay. I know your listen is crazy. Did you get the tracker feat thing?
Keen-eared Scout?
Yeah.
Yeah, and also I have the skill focus in it.
Yep.
And then I get alertness because a snake's a snake.
Yep.
So let's see. 32, 33, 33.
That's what happens when you spec your character to do a thing. And that thing is listen. With a 33 on your listen check, you are able to, over the din of battle, over the firing of crossbows and spells, over the screaming of these poor, confused elves, you are able to pick out the locations of 5 more pixies. So there are 6 still alive. One of them you can see because of glitter dust. It is blind and invisible. But there are 5 more that you're able to pick out. They are flying 15 feet above the ground in a line parallel to the column of elves that you are traveling with, about 30 feet away from you.
Are they all within 20 feet of each other?
No. There's like...
How many can I get within a 20-foot?
Within a 20-foot radius?
Yeah.
2 of them.
All right, I'm going to hit him with a Dispel Magic.
Ooh, interesting.
The area one. For each creature within the area that is subject to 1 or more spells, you make a Dispel check against the one with the highest cast level. If that fails, you make a Dispel check against the next progressively weaker, so on and so forth.
Yep, so you channel your druidic magics to try to negate the spells affecting these pixies. Roll your cast level check.
Ooh, let's see. What does the spell add? What level are we?
10.
Level
10.
10.
Okay. And the spell adds 10, so that's 22.
Yep, you're aiming for 19. So yeah, you are able to negate the invisibility on 2 of these pixies. Nicely done. You pull on the magic of the wilds and you reach out, and what does it look like when you dispel these effects?
Sort of like a swamp fog surrounds them and just dissipates, leaving them visible.
Badass. Yeah. A horrific swamp gas sort of forms out of the ether surrounding them, and as the cloud boils over them, their invisibility just sort of dissipates with the fog. And 2 more of them are visible. Now that you can see 2 of these things and they're not completely covered in gold dust, these things look feral. Their tiny eyes are wide and blood red. There's like black veins shooting out of the corners of them. Their teeth are bared like wild animals. Their lips curve back. There is no trace of the merry prankster that these pixies usually are. These things look like murderous psychopaths. They are not chill in any way, shape, or form. Solid. So 3 of these things are now visible. Out of the 6 that are left, you can see half of them. Nicely done, Zurabak. That is your standard action. Do you want to move anywhere?
Look menacingly at the one's general direction where the other ones are invisible.
Gotcha. Yeah, you turn your gaze to the ones that are still hidden and sneer at them. And if you could see them, they might look scared. That brings us to Hektor the Gatekeeper, Keeper of the Gates, Bard Extraordinaire of the College of Everspring. Hektor. There are 3 pixies you can see. They're 15 feet above the ground. The rest of them are still invisible. What would you like to do?
Question.
Answer.
Cool.
Moving on.
Hector is slightly over 6 feet tall. How long is his maul?
Like 6 feet tall.
Cool, so that's about 12 feet.
Mm-hmm.
They're 15 feet in the air. If I run at one and with a jump check, can I swat it out of the sky with my maul?
I will let you attack one of them once if you get good on your jump check.
Jump swing.
That's what I would... That's what I do.
Absolutely. Roll it up.
Alright, I guess we will start. Rage.
Sure, of course.
Let's make a jump check. Oof, I rolled low. That's 21.
I never get tired of that joke. You own it. You flash into your barbarian rage, your muscles surging with brute power, and you dash forward. You put a boot on the edge of Elder Willow's palanquin and just launch yourself into the air. Total Air Jordan shit, and you swing your massive maul at this pixie. The one closest to you would be the blind one. So go ahead and roll an attack roll.
Does a 27 hit?
A 27 does in fact hit that pixie. Nicely done. Roll damage for your oversized airborne maul.
16 points of damage.
Dead. Splattered. You get some serious airtime. You swing your massive hammer. And the body of this thing doesn't even go flying. It's like a windshield hitting a bug on the highway. Your feet touch back on the ground, and you've just got a red smear on the face of your hammer. It is completely destroyed.
Golden red.
Yes. There's, that glitter never gonna come off of there, bud. Sorry to say, never coming off. It's done. Your hammer's bedazzled. Excellent.
It's a good story, though.
I just need to... So what you're saying is I just need... Well, no, only that was the last glitter dusted one. You need to do some more glitter dusting so I can get the rest of my hammer covered.
Yes. I'd say that's accurate. Excellent.
That's movement and standard. That's my turn.
Alrighty. So we've got 5 pixies total, 2 of which are visible. That's going to bring us to the elves' turn. The elves are freaking the fuck out. So,
Of course they are. Get it together, elves.
Worthless.
Well, they were at the end of their rope when you first got to Greenleaf, and now that some of them have completely lost all their memories, they've lost all of their chill as well. Each of the motherfuckers that got hit with those arrows are like flailing on the ground with like two guys on top of them. Elder Willow is screaming for his guards to protect him. Don't go just standing around. Come here, cover me. Cover me now. And he's like wiggling down into the dirt to keep himself safe from attack. And there are 3 elves like standing around it, like forming a wall with their bodies. 1 or 2 of these elves is going to try to take pot shots at these pixies with their longbows, and they all miss. Some arrows go flying into the forest, but unfortunately they are unable to make contact. Dara, hunkered down next to Ruger and Rilla, looks at the 2 of you, and a impish grin lights up her face, and she says, "Watch this!" And she pops up. That's not her voice. What does your sister sound like?
I don't know, because like I feel like you made a new voice for her for this arc than what she had at the beginning, and I don't know.
It's
whatever you want it to be.
It's been a long time. I think it was just using light lady voice. Watch this, and that's not it either. Watch this. No, that's terrible. I'm overthinking it at this point.
Are you?
It's like a watch this.
Watch this.
Watch this.
Oh God, it's a goblin.
Yo, check it, bro.
Nar.
Yeah, your sister gets this impish grin on her face, and she pops up from behind this palanquin, and she holds out the palm of her hand, and a lightning bolt leaps from her hand, cracking loudly with thunder, which reverberates through the trunks of these trees, and a tongue of lightning slams into one of these pixies and completely splatters it. It turns into bits of ash and falls to the forest floor.
She really likes lightning bolt. That's all we've seen her do is lightning bolt, lightning bolt, lightning bolt.
It's a good spell.
I like lightning. It's my favorite thing. Why would you do anything else? Lightning's the best. It destroys everything you wave your hand at. It's amazing. I'm really good at it. So that is, there are 4 pixies left, 1 visible, is what we're looking at right now. And that's going to bring us back to the top of the order with the pixies.
Boo. Hiss.
So we got some attack rolls coming y'all's way. Let's see. So 3 arrows all head straight for Hector the Gatekeeper.
Let's go.
I got a 16.
Miss.
That's a miss on your flat-footed armor class?
Is it? Because they're still invisible.
Yep.
Nope, that's a hit.
Okay, is a 15 a hit?
15 is my armor class.
Okay, and then the last one is 23. So you got hit with 3 pixie arrows. I'm going to need you to make 3 will saves as these magic arrows pierce your hide, darting from the darkness of the forest.
17.
That is a pass.
Okay. I feel better now because that was a pretty low roll. Yeah, 26.
That's a pass.
No, that was an 18, so 28. And 18.
Sweet. You are able to hang on to your senses for a moment as these arrows hit your flesh. You feel your mind start to wander. The edges of your mind start to get a little shaky, but you're able to shake your head clear and retain your memory and your thoughts. Nicely done.
+2 will while raging.
Nice. Yeah, your mindless rage has left your brain a complete blank and is thus way harder to assault.
Do I take damage from those?
Oh, you super did. You take 6 points of damage, bud. Let's see. Ruger Firehide. The one pixie left that you can see. Yeah, Ruger, this pixie locks eyes with you. And
I look back longingly.
it waves its hand in your direction, and you find that your body is suddenly completely out of your control.
Oh, neat.
You start to twitch, and then those twitches become violent jerks. But those jerks take on a strangely rhythmic cadence as you start to dance uncontrollably in place.
Can we say it's like, what's the... It's not line dancing, but it's like aggressive, like tap dancing.
Sure, yeah. Like a jig?
It's like a fiddle. Yeah, like a jig. It's
Yeah, like a jig
It's
or
like
clogging.
Yeah.
So yeah, you are filled with an undeniable urge to dance, and you begin doing so, shuffling your feet and tapping. It is impossible for you to do anything other than dance in place. You get -4 to armor class and -10 on reflex saves. And you don't get your shield bonus to your armor class.
So what was the minus to the armor class?
You get -4 to your AC and -10 to reflex saves. You also don't get your shield bonus. So yeah. You have been affected by the spell Otto's Irresistible Dance, another special ability that pixies can do. For 2 rounds, you are going to be dancing in place.
Okay, you said I can still talk?
Let's see. The spell effect makes it impossible for the subject to do anything than caper and prance in place. So you are just busting a fucking move. You are dancing so hard. So yeah, you're doing you hear the most gorgeous fiddle music you've ever heard in your life in your head. And you just break down doing the dandiest jig anyone's ever seen. And yeah, everyone just sees Ruger Firehide just start dancing furiously in place.
You know, I'm glad he's finally cutting loose.
Yeah, in my head I'm sitting there thinking, damn, I wish I could have used these moves at Shira's wedding.
For sure.
Where were these when I needed them?
All right. That is the pixie's turn. It is Snake's turn. What has Snake got?
Can he bite one?
There is one visible. It's 15 feet off the ground, but your snake is very large, so yeah, I'd say so.
Well, technically, he's that tall. Theoretically, he's a big boy. So yeah, he gonna try to eat some pixie.
How do you measure a snake's height?
Well,
is it its length?
That's a good question. I mean, technically, maybe half its length. As far as like the game statistics are concerned, the size category for Parker's creature is huge, so it's 15 feet on a side. So it takes up like a 15-foot cube. Oh, that's fun. So yeah, your enormous viper lunges forward to sink its fangs into a pixie. What'd you get for your attack roll?
18 plus. Nope, that's not Snake's page. That's Snake's page. 18 plus 6.
That is a hit. Your snake sinks its fangs into a pixie.
Fortitude save 14.
For the poison, eh?
Yeah.
It does not get the saving throw. It is poisoned. This poor fucker. Oh no.
So it takes 10 bite damage.
Okay.
And then 4 points of con damage.
Yeah, your snake sinks its fangs into this feral pixie, and it pumps it so full of poison that venom starts coming out of its eyes and nose. And it spasms in the air and then just dies. It just falls limply out of the sky, streaming venom behind it.
And Snake just catches it in its mouth.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, your snake basically just lunged up and ate a pixie. Just straight up snatched it out the fucking sky. Very cool. So, that is the last visible pixie down. There are 3 of these fuckers left, and they are all invisible. Nicely done on a snake's turn. That brings us to Rilla Longshadow. Rilla, it is your turn. There are 3 invisible enemies left.
And I'm dancing.
I try to make them visible again. Listen. No. That is an 8. So
unfortunately, you are unable over the sound of combat to pick out these pixies' locations.
I can't hear shit. I really wanted to chuck a fireball just to show Dara that there was something cooler, but I need something to aim at. So I guess.
I mean, you could just.
No, I need to save some for killing an elder. I mean, if it had a purpose, sure, but on my own.
Yeah. Just aim the fireball a little too close to the elder. And by that, I mean directly on.
Just kill him and all the elves around him.
Centered on the elder.
Do you care about those elves?
No, but I'm pretty sure if I kill the elder here, my sister's just gonna be full evil forever.
Oh, then you just put her to sleep with your fist.
That will not work.
Yeah, knock her out with a blackjack, explain the whole thing later. It's fine. It's fine.
Lord. Yeah, I really don't have anything else that's gonna work here. So I shrug and duck down lower.
Cool.
And just go, I guess, full defense. Just there's nothing I can do. I don't hear shit.
You shrug and take cover. You try to pick out the sound of the buzzing, but since you're unable to pick that out, you just hunker down next to your sis. That makes it Ruger Firehide's turn. Ruger, this is your first round of busting a fucking move.
Hey man, I'm having a good time. Thank God I got so much rest last session. Just really dig deep for this.
Yeah, you're dancing maybe better than you ever have in your life, and you're like sweating. Like you're dancing like nobody's watching.
And like nobody is. I'm wasting it,
Yeah, everyone's pretty preoccupied with the Pixie Menace. Yeah, that's excellent. So you're busting a move. This is round 1. That makes it Hektor. Nope, that makes it Zurabak's turn. Zurabak, it is your turn.
We only got invisibles left.
We've got 3 invisibles left.
All right, I guess roll a listen to pinpoint, and I'm gonna try to stabify one.
Okay.
I rolled a 3, so that comes to like 24, 25? 25.
Yeah, you pinpoint one of them. So you know what square they're in. They're 15 feet above the ground. You can like walk to where they're at, but they are in the air past where you can physically reach. But you are more than welcome to try to attack them if you'd like. They're invisible, so there's a 50% miss chance. How would you like to proceed?
I guess we're gonna try jumping at them like Hektor.
Okay. Roll me a jump check. See if you can get airborne.
16.
Yeah, that's enough. You run forward, you plant your foot on one of these palanquins, and launch yourself into the air. And like you are superimposed against the rotting canopy of this forest like extra and 300, and with spear in hand you lash out at one of these invisible pixies. You have 50-50 miss chance. So let's see how this goes.
Rolled a 93.
Okay, that's a hit. Nicely done. If you get its armor class, roll your attack roll.
Natural 20.
We call that a crit, folks. That's a critical.
24 to confirm.
That is a fucking critical hit. Nicely done. You launch yourself forward, stabbing out, and you make contact with an invisible, flying, tiny creature, threading that fucking needle. Your keen ears pinpointing it. Roll damage.
31 points of damage.
Holy shit. Zurabak, you launch yourself into the air following Hector's example, and you stab the point of your spear directly through this poor creature's eye. It is so small and your weapon is so large that you shear its head right off its body, and there's a tiny pixie skull just right on the tip of your spear. As you hit the ground, it slides a little bit down your blade, but you've completely destroyed this pixie. It is, with pinpoint accuracy, you've killed an invisible creature, which shimmers into visibility. You basically swung out at open air, and when you brought your spear back to look at it, a thing just appeared on the tip of it. Nicely done. Very cool.
He eats it.
Of course he does. Yeah, you eat
He
it
looks
right
at
off of there.
Snake, and he's like,
It crunches satisfyingly in your gob. Hey, roll me a will save as one of its tiny arrows pierces your fucking tongue.
Let's see. What's my will save at? 1, 22, 23, 24.
Okay, as you crunch on this thing's bones, but also its gear and equipment, you're able to fend off its memory wipe arrows.
I still assume since it's dead, I add my bonus against Faye.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, just making sure.
Yep. Nicely done. Hector the Gatekeeper, Keeper of the Gates. It is your turn. There are 2 pixies left. You cannot see where they are. What do you do?
I really am not gonna have a chance at all at succeeding at this, but I am going to attempt to perceive them
Okay.
with my ears. 16 on a listen check to perceive the last 2 pixies.
You can pinpoint the square that one of them is in. It is within. It is 15 feet above the ground, off a bit from you, but you've pinpointed the square in which it is located.
Okay. Gonna do the runny jumpy thing and attempt to swat it out of the sky.
All right, roll me a jump check. It's like hitting killer pinatas out of the air. It's fucking crazy.
One of them burst into glitter. I swear, I saw it with my own eyes.
29.
You get plenty airborne. Roll an attack roll, and you have a 50% chance to miss.
All right. That's gonna be also a 29 to hit. Let's roll our percentage die. So is it gonna be? Do I call it, or should it be high or low?
You have a 50% chance to miss, so 50 or lower, and you miss.
94.
You got 94, so you have connected. Nicely done. Roll damage.
18 points of damage.
You jump into the air swinging at nothing. And when your hammer is halfway through its arc, blood explodes just out of the ether as this dead creature suddenly becomes visible. And you swat another one of these fuckers out of the air, smashing it like a bug on a windshield. Excellent work.
I think I got it, I would say, if I wasn't myself feral right now.
Yeah. I go feral back. Y'all are doing very well. Good shit. That makes it the elves' turn. The elven soldiers are they've got their 2 companions who've lost their fucking minds tied up and secured, tucked behind a tree. They formed a guard around them, and a bunch of them swarm forward to shoot just a shit ton of arrows into the forest wildly, not knowing where they're shooting. A whole bunch
Classic.
of arrows. Yeah.
Spray and pray. The old spray and pray.
Yeah, they fire a shit ton of arrows, which arc through the air and hit nothing. Elder Willow starts screeching, Don't worry about attacking them. Guard the sacrifice. The sacrifice is the only thing that matters. And like 5 elves just run over and just jump on top of Dara. They just cover her body with theirs, just completely.
While they're running over, Rilla can't help herself and mutters lowly. Of course, he only says that after they protected him, the fucker.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, like
I
5
just
elves.
danced for joy.
Yeah.
I'm just so excited to be here.
Yeah, 5 of these elves jump on top of Dara to the point where she's like, hey, get the fuck off me! Hey, I got more lightning! Back off, I'm fine! But she is unable to break through this cover of elves that has swarmed her. So she is unfortunately unable to pop off a lightning bolt this turn. And that brings us back to the top of the order with the pixies. There only seems to be one of these fuckers left from Zurabak's earlier count. And it is going to shoot an arrow at Rilla Longshadow in disguise over there. Let's see. Got a 19 to hit your flat-footed armor class, Rilla Longshadow.
Well, it's a 12. I said I was doing like total, whatever it's called, total defense, so that's not gonna fucking hit. You hit me. You hit me. There's no way I've got a +7. I was gonna be like, well, I might have cover from the Palanquin, this, that, and the other. It's not gonna be 7 points or 8 points more. So you got me.
So yeah, you take 2 points of damage, and you need to roll me a will saving throw.
D3? 23.
Excellent. You get hit with this pixie's arrow, which tags you, but you are able to maintain your sanity. You are unaffected by this memory loss power. And yeah, you are totally fine. Nicely done. So this arrow comes streaking at you. It barely scratches your skin. I
take it in the arm, right?
Yes.
Because that would be, yeah, it's like a little syringe.
Yeah, you definitely get a little flash of PTSD, like, needles. So yeah, it fires that off. And yeah, that is the pixie's turn. That makes it Snake's turn.
Well, Snake's going to try to listen. What is Snake's listen? Not great. I mean, well, it's a 7. Whatever 7 plus 4 is. I don't think Snake did a good listen.
Yeah, 11. Unfortunately, Snake is unable to pinpoint the location of this creature.
I mean, he's satisfied. He's just munching on the other one.
Yeah, he's still digesting the other one. That's going to make it Rilla Longshadow's turn. Rilla, what you got? There seems to be one more of these fuckers floating around here.
Listen, and I fail because I rolled a 4, so it's a 6. I don't see anything.
Yeah, you're too busy having a mini panic attack from this PTSD to...
I shove an elf off Dara when I think that she might be getting crushed.
Yeah.
That's too many of you. That's what I do. She can't breathe in there.
Excellent. Yeah, you start manhandling these elves. You pull one dude off that was like literally laying on her face. She's like, thank you, Jesus Christ. But really she says, thank you, by the, what are the gods in this world? Shit.
Narrativa.
Stricken.
She says, by Narrativa. That makes it Ruger's turn. Ruger, you are busting a fucking move.
I dance about it.
You dance all up and down. And that makes it Zurabak's turn.
Oh, I guess he finishes crunching up that skull and...
Yes, you are just finishing munching on this last pixie you killed.
rolls a listen, like 29.
Yeah, you pick out the last one. It's right over there.
All right, I assume it's still in the air, so
Yeah,
jumpies.
15 feet off the ground. Roll that jump.
24, 23.
Fucking excellent. Roll that attack roll.
Nope, nope. That's a 1 on the attack roll.
Okay. You launch yourself into the air and lash out with your spear into just the ether, and unfortunately, you are unable to thread this particular needle. Your feet hit the forest floor once again, but this time you do not have a dead pixie at the end of your spear. That brings us to Hector, the gatekeeper, keeper of the gates. You are raging. You're a barbarian. You have no idea where this last pixie is. What do you do?
I would like to attempt to perceive this one, I suppose.
It's hilarious that this is broken down to you all just sort of standing around like, oh, like cupping your ears furiously, like, oh, where is it?
I rolled a natural 20 on my listen.
Oh
check.
man,
That's
it's right there.
God.
It's like right over there. You totally got
All right. Let's do the game.
it. Roll a jump check to get up there.
24.
Yep.
23 to hit.
Yep.
All right. Come on, percentage die.
Brian is picking up his dice and looking at it.
So these dice, the highest number on it is a symbol,
Oh, okay.
instead of the number, and so on the tens spot percentage die, I got the symbol, and I was like, wait, is that going to be the 00? It is the 00, so I rolled a 2.
Okay. So unfortunately, you miss. Yes! Oh man. So Hector and Zurabak both run at each other, jump in the air, and just like chest bump the shit out of each other, trying to kill this last pixie. And yeah, you both hit dirt without making contact. That makes Adara's turn. She is just covered in bodyguards. The elves are gonna fire off another round of arrows blindly, and they suck shit. Which brings us back to the Pixie's turn. No more arrows are fired out, but this melee is interrupted by the sound of a beast roaring furiously. From around the trunk of a tree in the forest, down the path you just traveled, behind you, you hear a terrifying cacophonous roar. There is the sound of bark being ripped off of trees, loud pounding footsteps, and out from the forest, not 40 feet behind you, down the path you just came, you see a powerful, hulking beast. It looks like a bear, except that the arms are covered in feathers and end in long, sharp, hooked talons, and its head has a sharp beak with large avian eyes, an owl bear. An enormous one, standing 20 feet tall, roars and charges at you. And as it comes your way, the elves just fucking scatter. They just flee entirely. All 20 of these sickly, gangly elves with you, this shitty honor guard, see that monster coming and they just fucking run. The dudes laying on top of Dara get up and fucking book it. The elves guarding Elder Willow book it as well. They scatter in all directions, completely randomly, absolutely losing all of their nerve. This giant beast charges forward, stops like 10 feet from the back of your line, and just sends out this ear-splitting, shrieking roar. Its heavy breath is like steaming in this forest, this rotting forest scene, and it stares at you all with evil intent. That makes it Snake's turn.
Well, Snake's gonna try to listen. It's got the taste.
It's got a taste for Pixie.
Does a 22 hear it?
Let's see. No. No, it does not.
Then Snake's gonna just make sure he's out of the way of the charging owlbear.
Okay. Your enormous snake slithers out of the way of the charging monster. Nice. Rilla, it's your turn. You are the only thing standing between your sister and this owlbear. Dara, for her part, looks at the creature in awe, but also seems a little eager. She starts, like, breathing heavy, and you see, like, one of her eyes, like, squint, and she looks like she's getting ready to fucking go. But it is your turn.
I step in front of her and put a hand on her, and I cast Mage Armor on myself.
Dope. Yep.
That's what I do.
Excellent. Yeah, you give her the arm seatbelt in the front seat of the car.
Yeah, a full mom move. Yeah, instinctively.
Excellent. Yeah, you throw your hand in front of your sister and shield yourself with a mage armor spell. A glittering golden suit of armor appears around you for a split second before fading into invisibility. And your armor class is improved. Nice. And that's going to bring us to Ruger Firehide. Ruger, suddenly, out of nowhere, the urge to dancing, the urge inside of you to dance leaves you. And for a split second, you fall to a knee, breathing heavy, sweating profusely, having just danced as hard as you could for 12 entire seconds. You did a whole TikTok as hard as you fucking could in the middle of this fight with pixies. Your friends are jumping and swatting at thin air, and you just got done busting a move.
Am I viral now?
And you're a 40-something-year-old man.
My hip.
You're pretty sure there's one pixie left when last you checked in with the fight, but now there's an enormous fucking owlbear behind you and your party. It looks pissed and like it's ready to attack. All the elves are gone except for Elder Willow and Dara.
Yeah, okay. I sigh under my breath and mutter to myself, by the light of Protos, and flame on my battle axe, and then I go with the owlbear.
Excellent. Are you charging and attacking?
Just, yes. So what's that, +2 to attack roll?
Yes.
Super high. 35.
Holy shit. That is...
I rolled a 19 on the dice, +14, and then +2. 35.
You rush forward and swing your flaming battle axe. As you charge this creature, it towers over you, casting a shadow with the small traces of sunlight that are able to pierce the canopy of this forest. You feel the heat of its breath streaming out of its beak. You hear the groaning of its massive muscles and the rustling of its feathers as it raises its arms defensively. And as your axe goes to hit its flesh, it passes right through it, completely free of any resistance. And your arm goes through it too, and you realize that this is an illusion spell. This thing is not real. This is a figment.
Got me so good. Got me so good.
So your axe passes through it, like passing through air, and you realize this thing is not real, but a very incredibly realistic illusion, most likely made by that last fucking pixie.
I just laugh I just laugh.
But you looked dope as fuck.
I squared off against the bear. You guys saw me.
You charged directly at the giant monster to save your friends. It was dope as fuck. But yeah, this is a fakey fake whoopsie, not real thing. I'm
for it.
That's
Egg on my face this session.
Yeah. That's gonna bring us to Zurabak. Zurabak, you know where this fucking thing is.
Then I'm gonna try to stabify it. I assume I still have to jump?
Yes, you do.
Yeah, 20-something on the jump.
Yep.
62 on the percentiles.
That's, if you get the armor class.
And 22 to hit.
That is a hit. Nicely done. Roll damage.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points of damage.
That is a dead fucking pixie. Nicely done. With one final jump into the air, Hector probably gives you a fucking boost. You're standing right next to him. With one last final jump in the air, you lance this final pixie out of the sky, thanks to your incredibly keen ears. And this thing dies dies at the end of your spear, another skewered fey creature. And as it passes, it becomes visible, and the enormous owlbear illusion completely vanishes in front of Ruger. And as it goes, Ruger, all of the, heat and the sounds vanish with it immediately. You are all left in relative peace, hearing only the echoing cries of the elven soldiers that abandoned you and are still running in every direction through the forest. As this last pixie falls dead and that illusion vanishes, Elder Willow says, "I can't believe those fucking cowards! They just ran off! You've let down the blood of the elven people! This is not good. Now it's just us. There's still a whole day's travel to get to the martyr's tree." Dara looks around and says, "Well, that was actually kind of exciting. I've never really been in a fight like that before. Not outside the village. I mean, do you all do stuff like this all the time?"
Normally they're more exciting. As he crunches down on another pixie.
Dara winces a little bit, in disgust. Oh, more exciting than that? I mean, they were shooting arrows from nowhere and summoning giant owlbears. Is that not?
They did make Ruger dance.
Shut up, Zurabak. Zurabak, shut up. Everybody, hush. And Dara, we killed a tree yesterday. I mean, you remember the giant tree attacking your village?
Well, yeah, but it wasn't an invisible tree.
No, but it's really big.
Sure. Well, I guess that's true. Well, anyway, good job, I guess. If you're here to take us to the martyr's tree, good job. Everyone else sort of fucked off. Guess it's a running theme around here. Everyone just leaves whenever they feel like it.
Hector is going to do that thing where he casts ghost sound in order to amplify his voice several times over.
Yeah.
And Hector is going to just yell out, "You are less safe scattered to the winds than you are in our company. Please come back."
Roll a diplomacy check.
I'm just gonna say that Rilla's pissed about that immediately. Yet again, Hector is making it harder for me to kill an old man and save my sister. Yet again!
Listen, they've already scattered once. They're gonna scatter again.
Maybe. But Hector wants to try and help these people.
Yeah.
22.
Damn. Your voice booms through the trees. with this message that is full of bravado but also common sense. And slowly, one after another, these elven guards start trickling back in. And after a few minutes, 18 of them return. Let's see. Thorival, the elf that you guys have kind of befriended a little bit as you got in here, the one y'all have been kind of working on. Thorival returns and says, "Guys, I'm really sorry that I took off like that, but this pixies are fucking terrified. They're not supposed to be like this. And the owlbear, I'm sorry. It's just a lot, you know? The two guys that got their fucking memories wiped. It's terrifying. I don't know where they even went. We tied up their hands so they'd stop hitting us, but they're gone, man. I don't think they're gonna come back. So
Zurabak chuckles.
Like, fuck. I mean, I guess we'll try to do better next time. Right, guys?" And all these elves like,
It is natural to be afraid. I'm just telling you this from as logical of a standpoint as I can. The dangers will still be out there in the woods, whether you are gathered here with us. And we are your most formidable line of defense against those dangers.
As you say this, Elder Willow comes up behind Thorival and slaps him full force in the back of the head.
Hector moves to catch his hand.
Okay, yeah. Elder Willow walks up, his hand extended back behind him like he's gonna swat this fucker in the back of the head, and he's screaming, "You fucking coward! Leaving me behind, your elder!" And he swings his hand forward, and you catch his wrist. It is bony and frail. He's a very old man. And he goes red-faced as you catch him. "Unhand me, you brute! I'm an elder of this clan!"
Elder cowards.
I say to Dara, you think this way of life, specifically, is worth dying for? There's a whole world out there.
I think that if things are this bad, it's worth anything to fix them.
But the fix is going back to living with that as your leader.
Elder Willow isn't perfect, but he's all we have. And before the forest started dying all around us, before the veil started to falter, it wasn't like this. I'm doing what I need to do to keep this from happening, to make things the way they were. When the forest was green, when we lived in harmony with nature, before pixies attacked us and trees tried to kill us. What I'm going to do is going to fix all of this. Elder Willow has the weight of all of the elven people on his shoulders. Anyone would crack under that pressure. But he's why we're still here. He gathered us together, put us behind that palisade wall. He's our leader. I don't run when things get hard. I try to fix it. I'm not like my sister. And that is where we will end. Hello and welcome to As the Dice Turns, the podcast after the podcast, where we take a deep dive into our player characters' motivations, characterizations, frustrations, and try to get a better understanding of them as people. In this part of our show, we like to ask each of our protagonists a question and see if we can unearth some deeper truth about them. The question for today is, what is your favorite place on the Isle of Meosha? The setting of our story is a sprawling island with a myriad of climates and ecosystems, from the fetid, thorn-choked swamps of the Briar Marsh to the soaring peaks of the Gate Mountains to the horrid, blasted landscape of the Badlands. Our heroes have ventured across several different exotic locales and have lived in various points of this land before our adventure even began. So I'm curious to see what answers we will get from our heroes on this one. Let us start with Rilla Longshadow. Rilla, welcome to the studio. How are you today?
I am doing great, host. Rilla shrieks as she flies in. She has attached small fireworks to her rollerblades, and she does like a loop-de-loop because she's fixing the ramp to make it more intense.
Rilla, I noticed that you put a loop-de-loop on the half pipe. That seems incredibly dangerous. Are those rocket skates? That's gotta be a fire hazard. Sharon, get the fire extinguisher. That's gotta be a hazard. Are
They're never gonna outcool this.
Is that, I mean, yeah, if, now see, this is starting to be like a skating arms race, and I shudder to think what the next step's gonna be if we're having ballistic skates. Oh, God, you burned the carpet? Oh, Rilla. Fine.
Rilla sits down, and one of her roller skates flies off into the air and hits the ceiling and explodes.
Jeez, okay, that's gonna, see, now we're fucking with my insurance premiums. You guys gotta watch the explosives. It's like the Roomba War all over again. Jesus. All right. We'll deal with that later. Rilla, I guess it's nice to have you in the studio. I'm not so sure anymore. I mean, you hit that loop-de-loop, but now my ceiling's on fire. So, the question for today is, what's your favorite place on the Isle of Meosha? All the places you've been, all the places you've seen, whether it's a region, a city, a building, a room. What's your favorite place on all of Meosha?
I have to admit, I have seen a lot of this island now, and there are a lot of really beautiful things out there. But the problem is, they're almost all full of people, you know? Like, everywhere we go, we end up running into people. And at the end of the day, if I'm honest with myself, my favorite place is still part of the Springvale Forest.
Tell me about it.
There is a secret glade my parents found when they were courting. You know, a clearing in the forest. Mm-hmm. A solid half day's walk away at least. Far enough away that they'd have an excuse of, we lost track of time and didn't make it home.
Sure.
That sort of thing, right? And it had just the littlest waterfall, just a slight trickle of water, lush trees all around it, silent, and, I don't know, just rich with green. My parents took me there a lot when I was small, before Dara was born. And it's where they told me that I would become a big sister. It's where all important family meetings happened. Because it was a secret. It was our place. No one else knew about it. Not anyone else in the village. And after they were gone, I didn't have a lot of chances to get out there, obviously. I only managed to go back maybe twice in all those years. I just really wasn't given the freedom. But it remains my absolute favorite place on the island.
Well, that's beautiful. It sounds like quite a lovely spot and a beautiful example of the lush greenery of the forest you grew up in. Sounds beautiful. And the emotionals.
I'm sure it's terrible looking now, but it was gorgeous.
I can't imagine it's in very good shape, and I'm terribly sorry that that's the case. I'm sure you'll get that fixed up, lickety split. But yeah, that's a wonderful answer, and beautiful bit of remembrance for your family. Thank you very much for that answer, really. That's wonderful. Thank you. All right, moving on. We've got Ruger Firehide, lawman extraordinaire, paladin of Protos. Ruger, how are you?
Well, host. I'm doing so dang good, I can't hardly stand it. I mean, I am just living the dream on the half pipe, spending my days, just putting the work in and spending my nights reading the good work of Lord Snack,
Right, I forgot you're still a disciple of Zurabak Snake, who has become sort of a skateboard guru. It seems like.
Well, he is in fact our savior, our messiah, as it were, as opposed to that heretic, Rilla Longshadow, with her blasphemous rocket shoes.
Well, that's incredibly troubling terminology, and I'm sure that a messianic snake cult of skateboarders isn't gonna explode into some slapstick scenario where I get kidnapped and have my pants taken. But we'll leave that for another day. God damn it. Ruger, the question today is, Ruger, please put that book down. I don't even know how you're reading it. How did Snake print a whole book?
It's written in Venom.
Ruger, the question for today is, what is your favorite place in all of Miosha? As a lawman of your whose career is as long as yours and as someone that's been on the road their whole life, I'm sure you've seen many interesting places. Is there one that's your favorite?
Man, host, that's a good question. Did you come up with that yourself, or was it Sharon? I bet it's Sharon who writes the questions, isn't it?
We don't need to get into who's we don't need to get into that. That's not something we need to get into. Okay. I'm sure it's fine. No, Sharon, it's fine. Don't worry. But no one called you. It's fine. We don't need to get into that. The questions are the questions. Who knows where they come from? I'll never tell. So why don't you just answer it there? It's the format of the show. It's just keep it chill and
right. Okay. Well, I guess, host, to actually answer your question, I have always been and always will be a fan of the freeholds. I've always been. I've always had an appreciation, a begrudged respect for the people of the holds. It's a tough place where law is what you make of it. With the Badlands ever present and encroaching threat. And, thieves, outlaws, bandits, all the like, and yet the people there have found a way to cobble together some semblance of stitched together society despite it all.
That is a fascinating answer. Yeah, the freeholds, this band of arid plains north of the Raging Sands and south of the Badlands that you call your home. Yeah, the hard scrabble life out there. A bunch of independent small towns all trying to get by on the fringes. It does seem a far cry from the metropolitan excesses of Everspring to the north. That makes a lot of sense. You said that the people there are a part of that. It seems like you're a little more invested in people than, say, a Rilla Longshadow. Do you think that the people shape the place, or the place shape the people in the freeholds?
Well, I suspect it's some mix of the both. I mean, it takes a certain type of person to be able to survive in a place like that. And because of that, I mean, that those that do survive, they've cobbled out a type of society that begs inclusion of that same type of person. But I don't know. I say that. Freeholds is, in fact, kind of a collection point for Miosha. All kinds find their way there. Searching for a new life, or a different life, or running from a past life. But we meet all kinds of folks in the holds.
Well, it certainly sounds romantic. Fringe settlements where you can reinvent yourself and people come together of their own accord to live the best life they can. That makes a lot of sense, Ruger. You've certainly painted a very romantic picture of life out there, and I certainly appreciate your candor. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Just remember, cowboys and shit.
All right, moving on. Let's get Hector. Hector the Gatekeeper, Keeper of the Gates, Bard Extraordinaire of the College of Everspring. Welcome to the studio, Hector. How are you?
Hector wheels in on his unicycle.
Oh my god. Hector, one wheel? Is that where we're at? I thought you were trying to pretend to be a skateboarder, like some kind of poser out there with a board over your shoulder. What's going on with the unicycle?
Look, I went through my scooter phase.
Sure.
I went through my Heeley phase.
Sure.
I thought I was a skateboarder.
Right.
I found my calling, and I found my people.
And it's unicycles, Hector? Isn't that great? I mean, no offense to any listeners that might be unicyclists, but like, are you going to take that thing in the half pipe? You know there's a loop-de-loop now. Can you trust one wheel to loop that loop?
The question is not whether I trust the wheel. The question is whether I trust myself.
You know what? That actually sounded pretty cool. All right, you may be onto something here. In any case, Hector, the question is, what's your favorite place in the Isle of Miosha? You were born and raised in the Gate, but you've traveled quite a bit now, seen many different locales. I'm curious if you have a favorite place.
Let me tell you about the Gates for just a moment. The Gates is a wonderful place. I love it very much. It's home. I love the people. We have 3 colors. They are white, like snow, brown, like dirt, and gray, like rocks. On a lucky day, you might get a little bit of red from some blood, or maybe a small patch of vegetation where you get to see green. I didn't know that purple was a real color and not just something made up in stories until I got to Everspring.
Yeah, the City of 1,000 Hues has to be quite the juxtaposition for someone that grew up in the wilderness, or close enough to the wilderness like you did.
It's amazing. The vibrance is... it's indescribable. And to top that off, it's also, no big deal, just like the hub of storytelling for the entirety of Miosha. Everspring is my answer. I thought about saying specifically the college. I thought about saying getting even more granular, but I fell in love with that city the first time I laid eyes on it.
Well, that is lovely, Hector. Truly, truly lovely. I'm sure hearing story. One thing I am curious about, you were a guide to the mountains. You escorted a few bards, a few merchants over your career there. I'm sure you heard stories about the city of Everspring, the sprawling metropolis, the hub of metropolitan culture. Did it live up to the stories you heard? How different was it from what you pictured in your head?
Like I said, there's only so many ways you can say colorful. And there's only so many ways you can think of colorful, especially when, again, your primary things you're ever exposed to are white, gray, and brown.
Gotcha.
So yeah, parts of it are just nothing I could have ever imagined. Yeah.
Oh, that's an excellent answer. We certainly appreciate your candor on that, Hector. And yeah, it should be no surprise to anyone that knows you that Everspring would have that big of an impact on you. Thank you very much.
Have a good day, host. And I wheel out.
Fucking unicycle, man. I wonder what I'll have next week. All right, last but not least, we've got King of the Shocker Lizards, Champion of the Goats, Emperor of the Rats, and Duke of the Isle of Neho, Zurabak the Unburned. Zurabak, welcome to the studio.
Yep.
So your snake's got a cult now, like a skateboard cult. Is that right?
Yep. He's been printing literature.
Great. And that's on top of his crew of skating animals. Is that right?
Yeah, he keeps trying to replace that tiger, but I just keep killing each and every one of them.
Sure. Well, that sounds gross. So Zurabak, the question for today is, what's your favorite place in the Isle of Meosha?
Not Everspring.
Sure, of course. I can't imagine that a place full of people and color and music and joy and safety would be anything you'd be interested in. I don't think that's a surprise to anyone. Is there any place that you do enjoy?
I did like the volcano.
Okay, so the Ashen Isles, where you did battle with the Knights of the Pyre, that sparked something for you?
Yeah, made me realize how much I want other people to drink lava.
Yeah, I could see that. The immense primordial power of an erupting volcano, the destructive potential of molten rock flowing over your enemies or into their gullets, that makes a lot of sense. So your favorite place in the Isle of Meosha is in the belly of an active volcano.
Yep.
Okay, that makes complete sense and is just as terrifying and intimidating as we're used to here. I mean, honestly, I got no follow-up. We all remembered when you had an entire fight in a lava pit that you made yourself.
Good times.
Very good, scary times. Yeah, you're definitely earning that nickname, Zurabak the Unburned. And hell, if you are a duke and have an island of your own out there, one would hope that your favorite place would be a volcanic island because you technically own one.
You're right. I need to make more people drink lava.
Well, hopefully you'll have plenty of opportunities to do that. Just not here. Ever here. No lava here.
You say that, but...
That's going to do it for us here on As the Dice Turns, the podcast after the podcast. Sharon and I want to thank you for joining us in our little show, and until next time, keep those dice turning.
Can you really stop me?
I think plate tectonics can.
Not if I have anything to say about it.
Hey there, dear listeners. Sam the DM here, checking in with the credits at the end of the show. Challenge Rating 0 was edited by the incomparable Audius Prime, a.k.a. Matt Sims. You can find more of his work at audiusprime.com. Music for Challenge Rating 0 is provided by the harp wolf Danielle Williams. You can find more of her work at danielletaylorharp.bandcamp.com, including her album Why Are We Surprised When Seasons Change? It's a real banger. Additional music for Challenge Rating 0 is provided by Justin Ra. Find more of his work at justinra.com, including his album Age of the Spirit. If you want to reach out to us here at Challenge Rating 0, we are on Facebook and Instagram at Challenge Rating ZER, the letter O. You can find us on Twitter at Challenge_ZER, the letter O. And if you wanted to contact us, you can hit up our email, challengeratingzer, the letter O, at gmail.com. You can send us questions for our As the Dice Turn segment, and any questions we receive will be read on air. We want to thank you all so much for listening to the show. We certainly appreciate your ears. If you want to support us here at Challenge Rating 0, you can find us on patreon.com/CR_ZERO. We've got some bonus content on there, and if you're unable to support us fungibly, that's totally understandable. Give us a like, shoot your friends some links, Give us a review. Reviews go a long way to help out little operations like us. And we will see you folks next time. Thanks. Bye.